The podcast you're about to hear was made with Anchor. You can use Anchor to make a podcast right from your phone, no experience necessary. Plus, it's completely free. Get the app at anchor.fm/podcast.
You're listening to the E-Commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce and tech news, presented by Sumo Heavy. Here's your host, Bart Mraz.
This is the E-Commerce Minute for July 5th, 2017. Today, Photobucket is holding your images hostage.
If you've been shopping online the last few days, you may have noticed something strange. Thousands of photos on sites like eBay, Amazon, and Etsy have been replaced by an error image by Photobucket. The image reads, "Please update your account to enable third-party hosting." Photobucket, which launched in 2003, was previously free to all users to upload and embed images on the web. It states it has more than 100 million customers and more than 15 billion with a B, images on its servers. In the olden days, this was the place to host your images, especially for bloggers and MySpacers before Facebook and Instagram came along. These days, they offer free hosting for up to 2 gigs of storage or $100 a year for 102 gigs. Unfortunately, for these small online sellers, Photobucket last week quietly updated their terms of service and now charge $400 for the service. And an even bigger kick in the nuts to the sellers, the TOS states that you must upgrade now or no longer be able to access your photos. Actually, that's not true. You can access your photos. You just can't link them anymore. The outrage has surfaced because Photobucket really didn't give its users much of a heads up before the change. Isn't this basically a shakedown?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. No, in the fact that they have to make money and they're trying to make money off of ads, and that's just no longer working. So on one side of it, they got to make it, right? Google has kind of did that thing with it. Flickr charges it. Plenty of places charge it, but the way they did it, it's quite crappy. That was a little crappy, and doing $400, that's a little much considering that you can probably do it off of Dropbox or Flickr or anything else. The problem with it, I think, is that the reality of it is people are trying to use all these other services to have their photos, and Photobucket was free, so people just put it up there, right? Like, if you're running an actual store and you're selling your product, you should have your own storage.
That's absolutely true.
Right?
I think
that makes no sense. Like, I get it. I get when you first started, you're trying these little things, and that's fine. But once you get going, like, you should really consider having some different storage for it, or literally pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, it should be worked into your cost of business. I mean, especially when e-commerce is so image driven, to have the fact that your images are being held hostage by someone else is just unbelievable. But getting back to Photobucket, was really a shitty thing on their part to do. I mean, I was reading on the BBC report, there's some old, there's like these old forums and stuff. And back in the old days, that's how everybody did it. They just hot linked and put pictures. These guys, there's one stamp board, they get 17,000 members, and you see the screenshots, and it's all the image bucket warning things. And these people who built these old blogs, these old-timey blogs, like, they're going to have to redo years worth of work. These eBay sellers, these guys are probably working out of a garage selling eBay. They're screwed.
No, absolutely. Like, the way they did it was bad. Why they did it, it's not a bad thing. I mean, storage is expensive. I mean, that's sensitive, but it's sure. Costly, right? When you have so many images and stuff like that, you kind of look at it. It's, people, there's servers to pay and electricity and people to pay. Surviving on ads is no longer viable.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the moral of the story here, there's no free lunch. Anything that's free has a hidden cost. If you trust a free third-party service to help you run your business, you sure as hell better have a plan B. Anything else to add, Bart?
No, that's it for today.
All right, everyone. That's the e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today. If you like the show, make sure you add us as a favorite and share this with your friends. Please follow us on social media @SumoHeavy. And finally, if you've got a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, call us on Anchor. Until next time, we'll see you on the next e-commerce minute.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.